Honest. I'm gonna give it to you honest. I ain't trying to be lying, ducking, hiding, hurting nobody's feelings.
Are you surprised by the evidence that's already coming out in the criminal trial?
No, I'm not surprised. I experienced some of those things. Witnessed violence.
At first, their relationship looked like something out of a movie. Young Miami and Sean Diddy Combs were living the high-life luxury vacations on private islands, walking red carpets together and giving each other gifts that made headlines. From a $500,000 shopping spree to a custom diamond necklace and even flying on a private jet just to have dinner. Their love story seemed glamorous and picture-perfect. Their connection looked strong and full of excitement. But behind all the wealth and attention, a much darker reality was hidden. Now the truth is starting to come out, and it's left the entire entertainment world stunned.
We're gonna simplify for everybody on this run right here. We're gonna go with Diddy.
And that's final.
Yeah, that's final, but you...
Everything changed with one shocking claim. Young Miami, a star on the rise, has accused Diddy of knowingly giving her hand, possibly others HIV. Yes, it's as serious as it sounds. This isn't just a messy breakup or celebrity drama. A deep betrayal, far beyond cheating or legal trouble, as one insider put it. This scandal could bring down one of music's most powerful names. Diddy, once seen as untouchable, now faces accusations that could destroy everything he's built. It all began with a vague tweet from Young Miami. "I'm not sharing my next man." At first, fans thought it was just a cheeky comment, maybe a subtle dig at Diddy's public relationships. But soon the gossip took a darker turn. Rumors began to spread that she had started seeing NFL player Stefon Diggs. According to sources, Diggs reportedly asked her to get tested before getting serious. That's when the truth allegedly came out. The test results were positive. The news hit hard, both privately and publicly, and what seemed like just another celebrity split suddenly became a full-blown crisis.
Today, in a New York federal courtroom, Sean Diddy Combs told the judge he was, quote, a little nervous. The rap mogul's criminal trial began this morning. He is trafficking, racketeering, and more.
This betrayal isn't just emotionalized physical, and it's heartbreaking. People are asking, how could someone like Diddy, with all the money and medical access in the world, let this happen? And even worse, how could he knowingly put others at risk? Fans are shocked and confused. Many are now questioning everything they believed about the man once praised as a trailblazer in music. But this is no longer just about Young Miami. It's about trust, power, and the secrets people in high places work hard to keep hidden. This scandal didn't come out of nowhere. For years, there have been quiet rumors in Hollywood about Diddy's health, sudden weight loss, unexplained hospital visits, and his silence whenever the topic came up. Then came something even more alarming, a prison medical record that allegedly shows he once tested positive for HIV. It hasn't been confirmed, but the evidence and rumors are piling up, and they're getting harder to ignore. Is Hollywood's long-held secret finally coming to light?
Dishonest, violent, horrible. A promiscuous swinger who lied to and cheated on multiple partners. Incredibly, that's how Sean Diddy Combs' own lawyers described the billionaire music mogul, currently facing serious trafficking charges in a New York court.
There were clues that now seem much more serious in hindsight. Remember those interviews where Diddy looked unusually thin? Or the sudden event cancellations blamed on exhaustion? Industry insiders are now saying those moments may have been early warning signs of something deeper going on. One former associate even said that people close to Diddy knew something felt off, but nobody had the courage to speak up. And as if that wasn't already enough to shake the industry, there's even more. The timeline of Young Miami's shocking claim lines up with Diddy's current legal troubles. His trial, already grabbing headlines, has revealed serious accusations: human trafficking, racketeering, and coercion. The details coming out in court have been disturbing. Jurors have been shown video clips of what prosecutors are calling freak-offs wild. Drug-fueled parties where power and control were abused in troubling ways. Now with these new allegations adding to the chaos. The pressure on Diddy and the entire industry has never been greater.
Centerpiece of a lot of what happened during direct testimony were freak-offs. And what the prosecution tried to show was that he forced and or coerced her into doing these freak-offs. And we've talked about this earlier this week, that at least my opinion is that in a lot of these, the prosecution just didn't close the loop. It was something she felt.
It's hard to ignore the clear pattern between what's being revealed in Diddy's trial and what young Miami has accused him of manipulation, control, and serious emotional damage. The imbalance of power, the deception, the lives affected, all becoming too familiar to brush aside. And now, the public wants answers. People are asking, how could someone who built an image around success, parties, and celebration be hiding such dark behavior? And this isn't just about young Miami anymore. More information comes out. There are quiet rumors about other possible victims, others who may have been hurt without even realizing it. What does this mean for the women who already came forward in court, bravely sharing their painful stories? One thing is certain, this scandal is no longer about just one person's downfall. It's about deep abuse of power and how far some people will go to protect their reputation. Right now, the entertainment world is on edge, waiting for the next breaking news, the next shocking detail, the next twist in a story that just keeps getting darker. This isn't just about one broken relationship. It could turn out to be one of the biggest scandals in the history of the music industry.
Referred to me as Wild King Nights. And what a Wild King Night was when him and a guest would go to a hotel room or be at his home, his bedroom, and they would have intimate gatherings. I would have to go and prep that hotel room, which consisted of baby oil, Astroglide.
What's coming to light now is a disturbing picture of excess that went far beyond fun. The once famous freak-off parties that industry insiders used to talk about with fascination are now being seen in a very different light. For years, these parties were seen as exclusive and glamorous private jets flying in celebrities to secret spots, with endless champagne and star-studded guest lists. But according to new allegations, those nights were far from harmless. Sources describe rooms filled with mirrors and hidden cameras, dim lighting reflecting off baby oil bottles, and drugs spread across luxury furniture. At the center of it all was Diddy not just hosting, but allegedly controlling every part of the night, acting like a director of the entire scene. The most shocking claim: these parties weren't just about partying, they were about control. Prosecutors say the hidden cameras were no accident. Everything was recorded, possibly to be used later as leverage over the people involved. There are even suggestions that some of the biggest stars in Hollywood, music, and sports may have been caught on camera in compromising situations. If that's true, it could explain how Diddy held so much power for so long. The question now is, how many careers were protected or ruined because of those recordings? And just how deep does this secret network really go?
It was like, wow, for Diddy, what? You know, that was a person that I looked up to, the mogul. So, and I listened to all the artists that he made superstars. And so to have a chance to be able to be signed to him, it was amazing. It was like, oh my God, I'm here. I finally did it.
The silence from those who once attended Diddy's parties is hard to ignore. People in the industry who used to praise his lavish lifestyle have suddenly disappeared from the conversation. Why? Is it fear of public backlash? Or is there something much darker going on? Some insiders believe there's more to it. They suspect the alleged recordings from those parties could include well-known celebrities, people who've carefully maintained clean public images. If that's true, it raises a chilling possibility. Has Hollywood been protecting one of its own while victims were left unheard? And then there's Diddy's inner circle, the people closest to him. Over the years, his staff has been described as fiercely loyal, doing whatever was needed to keep his empire running. But court documents now suggest that loyalty may have crossed serious lines. Former assistants and bodyguards are being accused of supplying drugs, bringing in people for those private parties, and even helping silence anyone who tried to speak out. One of the most disturbing discoveries came during a search of Diddy's prison cell. Handwritten notes. According to prosecutors, they look like part of a larger plan to cover things up. One note allegedly tells a family member to find dirt on two of the accusers, suggesting a clear attempt to discredit them. If these claims are proven, it's no longer just about Diddy's actions, it's about a system built to protect him, no matter the cost.
Been afraid of coming forward. They've been afraid of what he could potentially do to them within the industry, what he could do to them professionally, maybe even personally. And so, yes, it's been a dark secret they've held on to for a very, very long time.
It's hard to believe something this serious could go on for so long without anyone stepping in. But the evidence points to a network of people who helped keep it hidden. Former staff are accused of delivering hush money, and top executives may have ignored the rumors completely. This isn't just about one man anymore, it's about power, corruption, and how far people will go to protect themselves. So, what happens next? With the trial approaching and more alleged victims speaking out, the cracks in Diddy's once powerful image are getting bigger. The big question now is, who else could be involved? Could other big names be exposed in the months ahead? That happens. What does it say about the entertainment world as a whole? For years, Diddy was seen as untouchable, a major player who launched careers and shaped pop culture. But now that same influence is under serious scrutiny, and people are being forced to ask themselves how much has been ignored or excused in the name of success.
He cornered me. And then he asked me, with his arm up, he asked me, "How you doing?" I'm kind of like, wow, this is what the heck? Very uncomfortable. And then he rubbed his hand down my breast. He said, "If you need anything at all, you let me know."
If these allegations turn out to be true, the consequences are enormous. This isn't just about what Diddy may have done. It was about the culture of silence that allowed it to go on for so long. How many people looked the other way? And how? Many more victims are still out there waiting for their voices to be heard. Hollywood has seen its share of scandals, but this one feels different. This isn't just another celebrity downfall. It could mark a turning point in how we view fame, power, and the people who hold it. For the victims, the damage goes far beyond news stories or courtroom battles. It's about deep emotional pain trauma that can last for years, even decades. Young Miami's accusations of betrayal are only part of the picture. Imagine finding out that someone you once trusted may have knowingly put your life at risk. And then there's Cassie. Her lawsuit was settled years ago, but she spoke of a relationship filled with manipulation and abuse. Both she and others described feeling trapped, caught. In a world where glamour and control were so tightly connected that escaping seemed impossible, the bravery it takes to come forward knowing the criticism and doubt they'll face is enormous. These women are not just telling their stories. They're challenging a system that has protected power for far too long.
I'm sorry. I'm just like really, I'm in this moment right now. This is crazy. Sorry. People don't really know how much what it does to you when something that you love is taken from you and thrown away like it don't even matter. And then they move on with their lives and you're stuck. You're stuck during those years. You're still stuck 21 years later.
This isn't just about a few isolated stories. It's about a troubling pattern. For years, the entertainment industry has allowed toxic power dynamics to thrive, where fame and influence have protected abusers from facing consequences. We've seen this before, powerful people using their status to silence victims. whether it's through manipulation, intimidation, or coercive contracts. Those who speak up are often forced to choose between their careers and their dignity. In Diddy's case, the allegations of blackmail, secret recordings, and ongoing threats show just how deeply rooted this behavior may be. This isn't just a personal nightmare for the women involved, it's a sign of a larger, systemic problem that needs real accountability. Experts in mental health often talk about the deep emotional impact of abuse like this. Survivors can face years of anxiety, depression, and trauma. Their trust is broken, especially when the harm came from someone they once admired or relied on. And for those abused by someone as famous as Diddy, the pain is even more complex. They're not just facing their own trauma, they're also going up against a global icon with money, fans, and influence, which can make speaking out feel even more isolating. The fight doesn't end in court. It continues in the public eye, where victims often have to relive their experiences just to be taken seriously.
Women who said that they had been abused, saying it happened decades ago, and they thought that they could look at the evidence in this case, which is about sexual assault, and view it fair and unbiased based on what comes into the courtroom. And one woman had, who is proceeding, said she was arrested when she was 16 for shoplifting at Harry Potter's World at Universal Studios. The judge asked her what she stole.
We also have to ask, how has the industry itself helped create this cycle of harm? For years, people behind the scenes have ignored the rumors. Assistants allegedly provided drugs, executives looked the other way, and publicists worked hard to cover up scandals. Together, they formed a system built to protect the powerful, not the vulnerable. This culture of silence and complicity allows abuse to continue unchecked, while victims are left on their own, often too afraid or too unsupported to speak up. And when someone does have the courage to come forward, they're often met with resistance, not support. It's as if telling the truth is a threat to the entire industry's foundation.
The judge is hopeful that that could be concluded as soon as Wednesday, with opening statements in the case beginning next week, and then the beginning of the evidence. So Combs has pleaded not guilty. He has said, his lawyers have said, that all of these allegations are the prosecutors trying to criminalize his sexual activity that they say was entirely consensual.
What's perhaps most disturbing is the silence that so often follows these kinds of revelations. How many more stories like Cassie's and young Miami's are still untold? How many victims are quietly carrying their pain, too afraid to speak, out for fear of retaliation, shame, or being dismissed? For every person who comes forward, there are many more who stay silent, held back by the stigma that still surrounds survivors. The entertainment industry has a long history of covering up these kinds of stories, protecting the powerful while ignoring the people they've hurt. But even in the face of all this, there is hope. The bravery of those who have spoken out is beginning to change things. It's pushing both fans and people inside the industry to look past the fame and really see the truth. Behind the glamorous image are real people with real pain, and they deserve to be heard. If the allegations against Diddy show us anything, it's that no one, not even the most powerful, should be above accountability. The culture of silence is starting to crack. Each new voice helps bring down the wall that's protected abusers for too long. So now we're left with some hard questions. Is the industry ready to take responsibility? Or will it keep putting profit ahead of justice? For survivors, justice isn't just about a court ruling or money. It's about taking back their voice, their strength, and showing the world that truth can't be buried no matter how rich or famous someone is. In the end, this isn't just Diddy's story. It's a story about the cost of unchecked power and the broken system that allowed it. How many more lives have to be hurt before something finally changes? And who will be brave enough to speak up next?
They saw evidence in the case. They immediately honed in on racketeering, and they started saying, why is this racketeering with one guy? And they're charging this one guy. They had a real problem with that. They did not have a problem with the Mann Act. They found him guilty on the Mann Act, and they hung 6-6 on.
One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. In fact, the most disturbing parts may still be ahead. What happens if those alleged tapes are reland? If what's on them is made public? What if members of Diddy's inner circle face arrest, more charges, and even more shocking revelations? And what if this is just the beginning? Could this scandal pull back the curtain on an even deeper, more dangerous network in Hollywood? We want to hear your thoughts. Is this just one man's downfall or the start of something much bigger? Let us know what you think in the comments. And stay tuned, because in this case, the truth might turn out to be even more unbelievable than fiction.